What if I told you the United States once seriously planned to invade Canada? No, this isn't some Hollywood movie plot. This was a real, top-secret military strategy drawn up by American generals. And the strangest part? It wasn't about conquering land or spreading ideology. It was all part of a bigger plan to fight Britain. Yes, Britain. Today we're diving into the long-forgotten War Plan Red, an actual military blueprint by the US to go to war with the British Empire, and that meant making Canada the first target. Let's go back to the 1930s, when world powers were still reeling from World War I, and trust was a rare currency. It was 1930. The world was on edge. The Great Depression was hammering economies everywhere. The British Empire, though weakened, still held influence over vast territories, including Canada. Meanwhile, the United States was growing more powerful and more wary. Though no official conflict was brewing, the US military wasn't taking any chances. They were preparing just in case. And that's when War Plan Red was born. It was part of a larger series of color-coded war plans. Red stood for Britain. Crimson was the code for Canada. And yes, America was ready to go full throttle if diplomatic relations ever went south. The idea? Strike Canada fast and hard before Britain could mobilize its empire. Here's where it gets wild. The US plan included invading key Canadian cities like Quebec, Montreal, and Ottawa within days. They would seize Halifax, Canada's Atlantic naval base, to prevent the British from bringing in reinforcements by sea. They even planned to bomb cities and use chemical weapons if necessary. This wasn't a defensive plan. This was offensive, aggressive, and deeply calculated. US troops would enter from multiple points, from Vermont into Quebec, from New York into Ontario, from North Dakota pushing toward Manitoba, and from Seattle to hit British Columbia. The goal? Knock Canada out quickly, so Britain would have no launching pad in North America. The US was even preparing massive rail mobilization to move troops and supplies swiftly. Nothing was left to chance. And here's the creepiest part. Canada knew about it. They had their own Defense Scheme Number 1, a plan to preemptively invade parts of the US like North Dakota and Montana if war ever broke out. Crazy, right? Two neighbors, secretly plotting war against each other. But why didn't this nightmare scenario ever unfold? Luckily, as tensions cooled in the late 1930s, so did the need for War Plan Red. By the time World War II broke out, the US and Britain found themselves fighting together, not against each other. Eventually, War Plan Red was officially declassified in 1974, shocking the public. It was a stark reminder that nations always prepare for the worst-case scenario, even against their closest allies. And while the plan was never executed, it shows just how close the world came to yet another devastating war, one that would have turned the US-Canada border into a war zone. So the next time you're crossing the peaceful US-Canada border, remember, this land almost saw tanks, bombers, and troops. History hides some wild stories, but it also leaves us with big questions. What do you think would have happened if War Plan Red had been put into action? Would it have changed the modern US-Canada relationship forever? Let me know in the comments below. And if you thought this was shocking, wait till you hear what the US planned for Mexico. Subscribe for more secrets from history, only on Civitas Secrets. Thanks for watching.